Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater, and it's been a long time since Disney announced Toy Story 4. I think they announced it all the way back like in 2013, 2014, somewhere in there. And the movie comes out obviously next year. Comes out next June. It's almost upon us, which means that today they bestowed us the first teaser trailer. Now, one of the things I want to do with this channel is like dive into more trailer coverage to like look into what they show us. But this teaser didn't show us much. It didn't really show us much of anything, and that's entirely okay. But what it did show us is, well, this guy. Who in the hell is this guy? What in the hell is this guy? We know nothing about him. Sporky, I'm calling him Sporky for right now until we get an official name, is an amalgamation, right? It is not just a toy. It is an amalgamation of things. None of those are actually toys. Getting a better look here, we see that he is a spork that has a pipe cleaner arm. He's got a Twizzler eyebrow and what looks to be Play-Doh mouth, googly eyes, a little bit of rouge on the cheeks. I'm not too sure what that could be. It could be makeup. It could be crayon. It could be rubbing off the Twizzler. Who knows? But look at the feet. His feet are held together by gum and popsicle sticks with a little rainbow sticker on his left foot. Now, this could be the very first LGBTQ character in a Disney animated film. That rainbow flag right there could in fact be signaling that they in fact support LGBTQ representation and are finally putting it's a trans toy. It could be a trans toy in the film. I don't know. Again, this is off the cuff analysis. But what it does show us here is that this is something that is different than what we've grown to expect. And this is just, again, another look at him, a little different expression, but we can see very similar that this is just an amalgamation of a toy, but he's there involved with everybody. In fact, he has an identity crisis. I'm not a toy. I'm not supposed to be here. He's Frankensteining it, and he runs away, and then we hear Woody yell out, "Will someone please get him before he pokes someone's eye out?" Now, what does that tell us? It tells us that Bonnie, or whoever they're living with now, it's keep in mind that if they're rolling real time, which they didn't really do between Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 3, but I mean, the passage of time has been 9 years in real life by the time we get to this movie, which tells us that that could be still with Bonnie. Bonnie could still be that young. Bonnie is an imaginative sort. The older she gets, maybe she wants to build her own toys. And keep in mind, going back to the first Toy Story, right? What was the theme? The theme is always identity with these movies, right? They're always identity. Woody thinks he's the top dog till Buzz Lightyear comes along. Then he's not the top dog. And you see he's kind of an archaic old toy, but Andy still loves him. Buzz, discovers that he's not the top dog. He's not the intergalactic Buzz Lightyear. He's just another toy. Toy Story 2 deals with a lot of that as well, right? Woody discovers he's a collector's item and questions whether or not life would better be spent having value or being with his friends. And Buzz, again, further discovers that he is part of a big thing, right? Again, there's always that duality between the two. But in the third film, it was more about them coming to grips with the fact that Andy's getting older, that they're moving into retirement, that they're moving into the daycare, and the struggles that come with that. The letting go of the past and moving into something new. And at the end, they end up with Bonnie, where they're going to be spending the rest of their days with her until it can be passed on to somebody else, moving from child to child and family to family, all while sticking together. That is probably going to be a little bit of this as well. But what we're seeing here is her creating toys. If this dude, Sporky, is going to be the next chapter, like this is Bonnie just creating something new, and then it coming to life using the power of her imagination, and the gang deciding that they want to, in fact, adopt it. I think they absolutely would. If you look here, you see that you've got the little alien guy in the top corner, right? They adopted those guys out of the claw game from the first Toy Story, and they've been a staple. So this one, I think, is going to deal with the identity of what it means to be a toy. Of what it means to be a toy. Are you manufactured in China? Are you manufactured in Taiwan? Are you 3D printed? Are you created with the imagination of a child using household items? It's interesting, isn't it? It's going to be interesting to see what happens as a result of this, of how they tackle identity. And I do feel that it's going to be probably a bit more socially and politically progressive than not. I think they've been heading towards that way for a while. They're going to tie it in. They're going to find a way to tie the themes together. And I personally don't have a problem with that. It all depends on how it's perceived by people on the outside. If you have your progressive blogs that are going to be writing about how this is a step towards diversity and representation, you might have your conservatives that go the other direction and claim that it's trying to shoehorn identity politics into a kid's film. But I think there's ways to tackle these subjects about where society is at the time using these type of stories. And I think that Sporky could actually be it. Look at him. He's adorable. Or it could be a she. We literally have no idea. This character and all the neuroses surrounding this character could literally be anything at this point. We have no freaking idea. But I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see what happens. Toy Story 4 is going to be a movie that I know if Tom Hanks has said, and even Tim Allen has said, that the ending of the movie is going to be gut-wrenching. It was hard to get through. Like Tom Hanks couldn't face the cast after he was done. He couldn't face the cast at all after he was done. He was just like, it was so emotional. And I remember how I felt watching Toy Story 3 8 years ago, and I did not walk out of that theater with dry eyes. In fact, I worked at a theater at the time and we were showing the movie, and my job was always to go in there. And at the end of it, I always had to watch the ending over and over and over again. It was some weird karmic punishment, I think, for losing some of my toys that I held dear as a kid. And that was hard. That was a hard summer to get through. But these movies are have done so much for animation, done so much for character development in these things. I think whatever Sporky is going to be fascinating and interesting, just to see where the idea of toys and what they are and what it means to be a toy. Again, identity plays a large part in these stories. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But anyway, I leave it to you. What do you think of old Sporky here? Do you think Sporky's going to be good, bad for the franchise, terrible for the franchise? Do you think it's going to be more shoehorn political commentary? Or is it just going to be exploring a child's desire to create? You know, and I'm looking at these movies now from a totally different lens that I have a child, right? She's almost a year old, but I look forward to raising her on these films and to see how she interprets them, because how she views them is going to be different from how I view them. Because when I first saw Toy Story, I was 15, 14 or 15, somewhere in there. I was already a teenager, had already moved past that point in my life, but she's going to be different. And I'm wondering if she's going to make things like Sporky. I see her playing with her toys that we give her, blocks and rings and everything. And she just kind of plays with them, and you watch her mind at work. That to me is going to be the coolest thing about this, is to see how she responds to this and how other kids and how you respond. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. Be sure to type Sporky in the chat so I know. Let me know what you think. Be sure to comment. Please subscribe. Please thumbs up the video. And check back more for trailer analyses from me, things like that. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.